What's up guys, Wolf here from Small Creations. As I said in the team builder, which you should definitely check out, because we're off the bye week, even though this is our 5th match, this is week 6, so that's the reason why there was no match uploaded last week. In terms of team lineup, I kind of expected him to bring the Blastoise, but I really expected him to bring the Galvantula. So the fact that he didn't makes this lead a little bit more complicated, because I expected Sticky Webs to come out. I don't really have a lot of ways to take care of it other than defog from Latias. So it is interesting that he didn't bring it. I mean, it's good for us. But what did he bring in his place? I guess Blastoise maybe? Or Lantern? The fact that he brought 2 water types kind of hurts us because we didn't bring a grass type to take out either one of them. But we do have Thunder Punch on Dusknoir, as well as Thunder moves on the Electros. So we can definitely hold our own, provided that the Lantern is not Volt Absorb. The Lantern obviously can get hit by an Earthquake though. So Dusknoir can kind of handle the water types pretty well. Tornadus will handle Conk as well as Latias. So looks like we're still the same game plan. If we can take down Mega Gardevoir, we should be okay to sweep with something like Infernape. Or possibly just Tornadus. So guess we'll lead Mamoswine here. He does have Lantern. That's fine because we are Focus Sash. We do outspeed, so we can, in theory, fire off an Earthquake here. If it's bulky, we'll know almost right away. His only switch here is to switch in Noivern, who gets hit by Ice Shard. So, and if he goes Noivern, that's fine because Ice Shard's 4 times super effective and it will still do a chunk of damage to him. 2 Ice Shards will definitely kill Noivern, considering we are Focus Sash, so I'm fine with just popping off an Earthquake here. Okay, so the Blastoise is probably defensive. I highly doubt he's max speed, which makes me think we probably just outspeed him, so I'm just going to fire off another Earthquake. I did quite a number on Blastoise. I expected it to be like kind of a defensive bulky variant to come in and switch in. I wonder if he thought maybe I was going to predict the Noivern switch and go Ice Shard. That'd be a pretty daring prediction though. I guess I can't really see. Maybe he thought that I was going to go Stealth Rocks, and then just prepare to just rapid spin off the rocks. That could have been possible. Because, I mean, if I was a Focus Sash lead like he probably expected, Rocks might have been an okay play, expecting the switch out of Lantern. Because I honestly expected it to switch. I didn't expect it to stay in. So we'll take out Blastoise, get a free kill, which is definitely not bad. Grab a blanket here. I'm shivering and it's making my teeth kind of chatter here. So he could potentially Ice Punch here, which would make a Latias switch pretty awkward. He could knock off here as well. If he knocks off, I'd rather him knock off the Latias than the Tornadus, but we could go Dusknoir as well, because Dusknoir honestly has Will-O-Wisp. Not that I'd quite want to Will-O-Wisp him, but he's definitely bulky with over 300 defense. You know, if he goes a fighting move, well, that's the problem. If he goes knockoff, Dusknoir is going to get hit pretty well. And we can assume pretty easily he's Guts. I wonder if I should go Infernape, expecting the knockoff. I could just let Mamoswine go down too, really. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, we'll get rocks up, because the spinner's gone. We might actually just be fine sacking Mamo here. If we end up outspeeding and he hits us down to our sash, we could probably just Ice Shard. Realistically. Yep, so there's a knockoff, which we expected. So, we could almost just fire off an Earthquake here. He's not Life Orb, so he's probably Assault Vest. We could knock off his Assault Vest here, but Earthquake is going to be stab and do a lot more damage. And Latias can kill after an Earthquake just as easily as after a knockoff, so... Plus, if we Earthquake and he tries to go for like a second knockoff or something like that. Okay, yeah, so Drain Punch is fine. That's not a huge deal. From here, I want to go Tornadus over Latias because Latias is problematic because he'll go Mega Gardevoir, and I cannot touch Mega Gardevoir with Latias. It's just, it creates a bad switching momentum for me. If I go Hurricane here, Hurricane hits just about everything on his team decently well. It does have a 70% chance to hit, I realize that, but it's well worth the risk because the power could just obliterate him right here. His switch here is probably to go into Lantern, and that's fine because then I'll just U-turn into Dusknoir and then just start firing off Earthquakes. I kind of want to keep Electros up as high as possible, just to, come on. I really got to have this Hurricane hit. If this Hurricane misses twice, we're going to be in a bad spot. Like I was saying, I really want Electros to be at 100% to take down Mega Gardevoir, because Mega Gardevoir can still hit it pretty hard even with Assault Vest. Going down to 17% isn't the worst thing in the world. My first switch out Regenerator will give it to about half, and then if I can get it off on a free switch, I can just U-turn back up and put it almost to full. So, not the worst thing in the world. His Assault Vest might potentially be like a live versus die, but the fact that I'm specially attack invested means that this should definitely kill. So we do hit the second one, which is always good. So we're going to easily U-turn out here, because there's no way whatsoever we're going to want to take anything that this thing's going to be throwing at us. We could actually probably just Latias here, because Scald and any type of Volt Switch maneuver, well, Volt Switch could be a problem. So we might want to switch to Dusknoir. I think that's a better plan, because if he's doing Volt Switch again, he could switch into Mega Gardevoir and I'm just going to get wrecked. I'm not sure if he's going to expect the Earthquake here. I don't see him going into Entei. I see him staying in, or possibly going into Mega Gardevoir, or even Noivern. So I'm going to fire up a Will-O-Wisp here. I don't expect Entei to be coming in, because Entei has nothing that can reasonably touch a bulky Dusknoir like this. It may be Sacred Fire, I guess, but... Well, Will-O-Wisp is not really good damage. We'll go Earthquake. So he goes Wyvern, that's fine. Now he could go something like Boom Burst, he could go Draco. But we're going to... I like Will-O-Wisp for Wyvern. It's obviously going to outspeed us. I want to scout and see what it does first. It might U-turn out, really. If it U-turns out expecting me to switch, that would be interesting. I expected to do something like Draco or whatever. We are specially invested, bulk-wise. Yeah, so he's going to go U-turn. That's fine. He might go Mega Gardevoir here. Yep. So we are going to get the burn off. The the synchronize actually hurts us more than it helps us. Because obviously our attack's cut in half now. But we can still Shadow Sneak. Get some type of damage going here. Kind of feel out how much Shadow Sneak's going to do when I'm burned. It'll still do a decent amount to Gardevoir. I'm not sure about the rest of his team though. Entei's probably Assault Vest. Okay, so it still did 34%. That's not bad. So we can actually still kill it here with Shadow Sneak. And Gardevoir can go down. Okay, so Entei is going to stay in. Or is going to come in, take the Shadow Sneak. Pretty bulky. And at this point, I think we can just let Entei go down. Or we can let Dusknoir go down. Well, maybe not. Because if we can get a free switch and he's basically a guaranteed Gardevoir kill. So, I almost want to Infernape here. Because he'll probably Sacred Fire. Could go Latias as well. Resist Sacred Fire, doesn't care about the burn, and also dodges something like Bulldoze. Yeah, so Flame Charge is the only other thing I was thinking he might do, but realistically he still has nothing to touch us with anything. So Psyshock's actually still fine. We don't want a Draco, obviously, because we don't want to give Mega Gardevoir a free switch. We want to be able to poke it. The combination of Rocks plus Psyshock plus Burn should do quite a number on him. So I wonder if he's going to maybe Stone Edge here. Stone Edge on Latias. Now we can Healing Wish the Dusknoir back up. And Dusknoir, if we can get Entei down, Dusknoir pretty much walls his entire team. Kills Lantern, Shadow Sneak obviously kills Mega Gardevoir, and it tanks Wyverns, moves very well, so maybe we will Healing Wish Dusknoir back up. If we end up taking a hit from something like Entei. Or even if we can get a free switch on Wyvern, or free switch on Lantern would guarantee a Healing Wish. I'm pretty sure Wyvern will probably outspeed. Gardevoir, if it's timid, will outspeed. And Entei obviously outspeeds right now because of Flame Charge, but I wonder what he's thinking of doing here. Yeah, so he's probably trying to fish for the burn, which he gets. Yep, so Life Orb damage. Sacred Fire did 28%. A resisted hit, so Stone Edge would probably kill here. I think Healing Wish is probably the play now. Yep, so Extreme Speed will go to 2%. We'll Healing Wish Dusknoir back up. Get that back up. And we'll go for the Earthquake here. If he Wyverns again, goes down to 50% of Wyvern, that's fine because we'll probably Shadow Sneak it. 2 Shadow Sneaks should kill it if it stays in. 1 Shadow Sneak plus a U-turn will definitely kill on the rocks. I'm almost positive. Noivern's not particularly bulky on the physical side, so that should be a good plan. Okay, so if we get the burn, okay, we dodge the burn, which is amazing for us. We should be able to tank just about everything else here. Lantern's moveset is probably the only huge issue. It might have Heal Bell. If it has Heal Bell for Mega Gardevoir, we lose the incidental damage, but Shadow Sneak still kills, so that's not a huge deal. So I guess Heal Bell isn't a problem. What's the biggest problem? Scald Burn. Scald Burn would be a pain in the butt. But with Lantern being a little weak, Noivern would go down to 50% here. So Lantern's probably his switch. Hoping for a Scald Burn, because he should outspeed. Oh, so he goes Noivern, okay. So we're actually just gonna Shadow Sneak for stab here, because it does slightly more damage than Thunder Punch. And if he U-turns afterwards, that's fine, because rocks will be able to take him out. Otherwise, he might try and do something like Draco here on the Dusknoir, hoping to kill. I mean, it could kill, or Noivern is very, yeah, especially offensive. So we did 25% with Shadow Sneak. We could switch into Electros. This is an interesting decision. If we stay in and get Dark Pulse, we go down and we lose our Mega Gardevoir counter. I kind of want to go Electros here. We don't need to worry about Mega Gardevoir now because we have Dusknoir. Yeah, so we get the switch off, which is nice. Now we could find out if he's Volt Absorb. He probably is, given Blastoise. Which means I almost want to go straight into Tornadus here. Because chances are he's probably going to try and Scald. There's no reason to go for an electric move right here, so Tornadus is safe. Yep, so there's a Scald, which we'll take. We'll U-turn out. Because he's going to go for an electric move here. We'll go back into Electros for a double. And we still soak that Scald fine. So if U-turn did 21%, I almost want to stay in and Flash Cannon. Yeah, Thunderbolt won't do anything to us. He probably expected us to double back again. At this point, I guess I'm not too worried about him healing. We'll see if a Volt Switch heals him. I'm immune. Okay, so he is Volt Absorb, which we expected. But he's not really hurting us, so I'm fine if he wants to spam Thunder Wave on us. That's not a big deal to me at all. I'll just keep going with Flash Cannon. Okay, so we got the burn. We get the special defense drop. We're gonna Flash Cannon one more time because I'm expecting him to Thunder Wave here or Thunderbolt. From here, I'm pretty sure Infernape can just beat the shit out of this with close combat. So I really just want to get it down as much as I can. Okay, so Volt Switch is actually fine. I don't have a problem with that because I'd rather him go into... Yeah, see, so now Gardevoir is dead to Dusknoir and I get some free leftovers recovery. So now Dusknoir is expendable. But Noivern dies to Shadow Sneak. Okay, so he has the Lantern here. We're actually just gonna Earthquake it here. Oh, we get the burn. Okay, so that did a crit. I don't know if I care too much about differential here. Here's the play. Now, I could sack Dusknoir here. Because Dusknoir obviously can't outspeed because Lantern went first. Unless I use Shadow Sneak. Now Shadow Sneak won't kill because Shadow Sneak won't do enough damage. So, if I sack Dusknoir, the problem is Noivern outspeeds both my Pokemon and could potentially kill. Like say he has like double Draco and like the second one crits. Or he has another move for Tornadus or something like that. Like maybe a Hurricane for an Infernape. So, Dusknoir 100% counters Noivern on a free switch because the rocks will bring it down to 1% and I can just Shadow Sneak that 1% away. So, my play, I think, is to just switch into Tornadus here and Superpower. Noivern will come in. We'll kill Tornadus. Now, we don't want to U-turn into Dusknoir. That would be bad. I guess Superpower is 100% accuracy. We may live a Dark Pulse here. He'll probably Draco, but if he goes Dark Pulse or something like that and we live, we can just Superpower and kill him. If not, Dusknoir can come in. Okay, so Hurricane kills us. And like I said, the plan, because burn damage doesn't hit us, because we have a free switch, we'll just Shadow Sneak for the kill. Now, as I was leading into, with saving Dusknoir, I have the counter to Noivern. If I were to let it go down, like I said, Noivern with the Hurricane on, say, Infernape and kills Tornadus, I would no longer have been able to win. I would have lost to Noivern. But keeping Dusknoir alive like that allowed me to definitely take out the Mega Gardevoir and take out the Noivern. So Dusknoir did a lot of work this match. And overall, I'm pretty impressed with how it went. The Scald Burn was unfortunate. If we wouldn't have been Scald Burned, the Earthquake probably would have killed. If it didn't kill, the Shadow Sneak definitely would have. And at that point, wouldn't be able to just stay in and just Shadow Sneak the Noivern when it came out. But because of that, we lost an extra differential because of the hacks. Not a huge deal. I'm not necessarily one that's worried about differential per se. Wins are what counts for getting to playoffs. So overall, I would say we did pretty well. We predicted most of the things that mattered. I think Colin towards the end with the Lantern, hitting Thunderwave and stuff like that, he was really not expecting me to stay in. We should have packed a Giga Drain. That was a definite mistake on our part, putting Thunderbolt and Volt Switch on the same thing. I should have just eliminated the Volt Turn core with Volt Switch on the Electros. I should have just went Thunderbolt and Giga Drain. I think that would have been a better, like a more well-rounded for his team. So that was definitely a team-building mistake on my part. If we would have had Giga Drain here, this match would have been over a lot sooner because I wouldn't have been stopped so hard with the Electros. We did correctly identify Volt Absorb, which was nice just by team evaluation. I'm kind of proud of that. That means we're definitely learning how to evaluate better as a team. To evaluate teams better at team preview. I'm kind of curious what the Entei set was. I wonder if it was possibly like a berry or something like that. We definitely played good against the Mega Gardevoir. That was our biggest threat against us. Dusknoir did exactly what he was supposed to do when we brought him with the Shadow Sneaks. The Will-O-Wisp synchronized burn was kind of it was unfortunate, but the fact that Shadow Sneak still did so much damage because of our attack investment means that we were still in decent shape. So, appreciate. Ugh. I'm too cold. My words are jumbling together as I'm shivering. Appreciate you guys coming out to watch the match. This does put us at 3-2. A couple more wins, and I'm pretty sure we can be within playoff lockout range. So we definitely want to keep up this momentum after the bye week and get a couple more wins under our belt here soon, especially before we play people like Pablo. I want to be locked for playoffs before we face Pablo, and believe that's week 10. So we definitely want to be locked before then because that's going to be a tough match. Until then, good game, Colin. Uh, Again, thank you guys for coming. Make sure to see the team builder if you have any questions about the team, and I will see you guys next week.